Now I know a lot of times people are worried about popping hair at the 1K level. Don't worry about that at this time.
Thank you.
You're still setting the bevel. By the way, this is cutting hair at the 1K level, but that is not important at this time. We're still finishing the edge.
Thank you, Mike. This is very, very important. Why it's cutting the hair? Because of 1K shutdown. But if you use, I have in here Norton 1K stone. This is Norton 1K, and it has been used a lot. I mean, it's, I don't know, you can see it a lot. But if you use Norton 1K stone and set the bevel, it will not cut the arm hair. It's very, very hard to make 1K Norton to cut the arm hair. That's why, depends on 1K level, what is the difference? It's American 1K level, but shotgun is the Japanese 1K level. Actually, it's 2K level almost. That's why. When you 1K level, what might mean, don't worry about the cutting the hair. And that's really, really important.
Is this some sort of Thuringian stone?
It's Sweden. It says Sweden stone, and it's approximately 4K level. But what I like on this stone, Mike, it's very fast cutting. I mean, absolutely very, very strong cutting stone. If you go a little bit slow, take the pressure up, you can go approximately 6K level. But it's definitely 4K. From 4K level, it's very nice stone.
Now he's using no slurry on this stone other than the slurry that's being formed from the action of the razor blade on the stone itself with water. This particular stone is at about a 4,000K level. This is a natural stone. A Norton, a Naniwa 4000, a King, any of those stones would do just as adequately, just as well, with consistent results.
Yes, they will give you more consistent results than natural one. Mike is right. Now I'm going to take this one away and I'm going to add another natural stone. It's very, very small stone. I know it's 6-7K level. Very nice stone. I will mix slurry on this one too and put in the water. Let me wash this one. What I like on these stones, these natural stones, you get used to natural stones and then you don't want to go back to the synthetic stones. But if you are a new person, synthetic stones is a lot easier to learn. Okay, and it's a lot better, consistent results they will give it to you. I keep this one is too small and I keep on my hand and make the strokes.
Now again, you'll notice Sham's technique. He's going to a 6,000 grit stone. This is a natural stone that he's holding in the palm of his hand, and he has formed a slurry with a diamond plate. I believe it's a 325 diamond plate.
Yes.
And he's making his X pattern on the blade. He's no circular patterns, one layer of tape, and he's making a consistent X pattern on the stone itself. With Sham's particular technique, if you happen to notice, there's a back hone on each stroke. This is very difficult to learn and takes advanced techniques. By controlling the back hone of the blade like that, that does a couple of things. Number one, it helps to release the slurry from out underneath the blade and keep the cutting slurry and the swarf in front of the edge, the keenness of the blade. Number two, it helps to keep the blade in consistent contact with the stone at all time. By making that backstroke, it sets the blade on the stone and maintains a consistent level of contact with the blade on the stone. This is a very unique stroke that in time, if you practice, will make all the difference in the world when you learn to hone your own razors.
Right now it's almost 6K level and I have in here Norton. Actually I love Nortons. It's very nice stones. They are just great stones. If you're a new person, you're learning to own razors, please own one Norton 4-8K. It's priceless. It will help you, teach you, and you always appreciate. Alpha, I have so many stones, I can use any of them, but I want to come back to Norton. I just want to show. This is Norton stone. This is 8K side, it's the yellow, is old Norton. I mean, later on they started making it in Mexico, in Canada, but this is very nice stone. And I always do X pattern. Remember, you don't have to use pressure on Norton. Some people put so much pressure and make it slurry. When you make slurry on natural stone, I understand that, but on synthetic stones, it will cut a little faster, but I don't know why you make the slurries on synthetic stones.
And just to reiterate what Sham said, there is no reason to create a slurry on a synthetic stone. The stone itself is doing the cutting, the water.
Yes.
This is a water stone. It has not been pre-soaked. It has been sprayed with tap water right out of the tap on a spray bottle to wet the surface of the stone, and the steel from the blade is taken directly to the surface of the artificial stone, and the cutting action is taking place.
Yes, that's correct. It's a lot better if you use this way, not to make slurry. If you get advanced, you know more about the honing, then you can do the slurry, but it's just too much. Synthetic stones will cut how much you need, because it's not, this is straight razor. You don't need to remove too much steel. That's the, if you honer knows what he is doing, you have to be careful how much steel you're removing from this blade. Anyway, blades is not so large size, they are very small, and you have to take care of the steel, how much you're removing when you hone. In another side, on Norton 8K side, if you stone gets black, dark, that means you are using too much pressure. You do not have to do that. Or you move it to the 8K level too early. You are using 8K for sharpening purposes, removing the steel. That means you gotta go back 4K level and work on 4K level before you move into the 8K level. 8K level shouldn't give you so much black, dark, removing the steel, okay?
Now he's begun to polishing the razor's edge. It's getting sharper and sharper. He's using water only on the 8K Norton stone. No slurry, no sign of swarf developing. That means the steel is not cutting deeply into the steel. It's polishing the edge at this point, preparing it to take it to the next level. At this point, the razor will start to become shave ready by certain standards. To make it more comfortable shaving, much more than 8K is going to be required. As you become more and more adept at using the different stones that are available to you out there, you can take your stone upwards of 30K and beyond to make it much more comfortable to shave with and much more effective as a shaving tool.
You just test this on like this. I take the 8K level. I'm gonna put this Japanese stone in here.
Now I'm testing the heel of the blade and the tip of the blade. On what little hair I have left. Now this razor is cutting both here at the heel and the tip of the blade. And that tells me everything in between here is definitely already going to be sharp enough. At this point, we'll clean any residual slurry off the blade, which you really may or may not need to do. It's just something that as you get more into this art, it becomes something you'd like to try to keep consistent with. Now, Sham is going back to the natural stone setup, so he's forming a slurry on these stones. He has a Japanese natural in front of him, and he has a caudicle, a salamander salm deep rock stone. Very, very rare, very unusual caudicle, which probably around 15K possibly.
Yes, that is the box. You can see that's the box, and it's very nice stone, and I will use it. Make a couple, maybe 10 strokes, no more than that. I just want to use the cortical to show I love this stone.
It's a beautiful stone.
Very, very nice stone.
I have one myself. They're
Not
beautiful
every,
stone.
Yes, not every corticalist will do this, trust me, but this is wonderful stone.
Sham has tried a lot of cauticles over the years. He has 180.
Yes. But this is unique stone. But you have to be lucky to get this type of stones, and
It's a beautiful stone.
it is not easy to find. There's a lot of corticals out there, but you need to find fine ones.
Now the natural caudicle stone itself, this contains garnets in it. Garnets are carborundum, which is a diamond material, which is extremely the hardest known substance known to man. It does not break down in its slurry. It does not get finer and finer as it cuts. It continues to cut at the same level throughout its entire usage. Now Sham has gone to a Japanese stone, or what they typically refer to as a J-nat, which this is a different type of material that's formed from radionuclei, which formed millions of years ago. He's utilizing the same technique, the same X pattern with the slight backstroke to it. There is a slurry formed on it. At what K level would this one be, Sham?
This will be above 20K level.
Okay.
Approximately above 20K level.
So we went from 8K Norton to a 15K.
Yes, approximately 12,
sound.
15, yep, and then Japanese stone.
And a Japanese natural, which is now at 20K.
Yeah, it's approximately 20K level, and it's very fine. It do have very good power, cutting power, compared to 20K level.
You can't hear it there, but from here I can actually hear the difference from the steel on the stone. It's almost a very smooth sound. And you can definitely feel a difference when you're honing. And this is how over time experience develops, and an experienced hone meister can tell you exactly what grit level you're honing at what this stone's performance is.
Yes. Now I'm done with this stone. I will go a little more finer Japanese stone. That's in here, and so it has a slot on it. I will put a little bit more water on it.
Do you happen to know what this Japanese stone is, if there's a name for it?
I have no idea. I don't speak Japanese, and it's hard for me to remember. They all have different color, and because of colors they call different names.
There's many different types and many different variables of the Japanese stones. Those of you out there that are shopping in the market for finishing stones, be careful, be wary of any Japanese stones that are on eBay. Again, there's so many variables when you get into the natural stones that you really almost need to be able to get them from a reputable source, or get them from somebody that knows, okay, this stone is set at 15K or 20K or 25K, and that way you know what you're getting, and you know what the stone's capabilities and performance capabilities are going